This episode of Minor Obsession is brought to you by the UNC Charlotte Belk College of Business, North Carolina's urban research business school. As alumni of Belk College ourselves, we encourage you to visit belkcollege.uncc.edu and learn how Charlotte's business school can inspire your career path. Welcome to another edition of Minor Obsession, everyone. Scott Lieberman here, back from London with bad takes as always. Thanks, Sean, for filling in and giving me some love there. Today we got a really fun show. We actually caught up with head women's basketball coach Cara Consuegra and men's assistant coach Kotie Kimble, and they talked about how the season ended and going into Conference USA tournament. Right at the brink, we've got women's basketball starting on Wednesday. The men have a bye. They'll start on Thursday. So take a listen, get ready for what's to come, and hopefully we can win some tournaments here. So with all that, enjoy the interviews.
All right. Joined once again via phone by none other than head coach of your women's basketball team, Coach Cara Consuegra. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good to be back talking to you guys.
It's great to have you back. We're excited. We love anytime the coaches have a chance to stop by and give us a little insight into the games that have occurred and what's upcoming. And exciting time here for the women's team heading into the Conference USA tournament. But before we get into that, love to get your thoughts on the last couple games to wrap up the season. So we finished with two tough losses. One against Western Kentucky on the road, dropping 71-60, and that was a tough one because we had pretty close at halftime, and then Western Kentucky just built the lead in the second half and kind of held on to it there. And then Middle Tennessee State at home, 79-74, and that was a tale of two tales there because we held the lead the entire time, and then final 45 seconds, just Middle Tennessee found a way to get a few extra buckets, and tough way to close out the season, but love to hear your thoughts on those two games and what you're taking into the conference tournament off those.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to point out is that those were two really, really tough teams for us to end the season, and certainly we would have liked to come out differently than 0-2, but nobody has their head down and is thinking, oh, we're not a good basketball team or something ridiculous like that. I mean, those are two of the best teams in the league. And, Western Kentucky, we played well 3 out of 4 quarters. And unfortunately, the third quarter when we didn't play well, we were really not very good. And the middle game last night, we played really well. And some things happened that weren't in our favor down the stretch in the game that contributed to that loss. But we still feel good about the team that we are and are confident about our abilities going into conference play. Specifically more about those games. Western Kentucky is a very difficult team to play at their home. They're undefeated this year on their home court. And I think they have like a 4-year record of something ridiculous, like over 100 and some wins and I think less than 10 losses. So, it's a tough environment, which is a great test for us this time of year. And we're up at halftime, and third quarter we just kind of lost our composure. They came out and pressured us. They're a team that throws a lot of different presses and changes their defense a lot. They pressured us. We turned the ball over, lost our composure, and just kind of lost control in that third quarter. But we closed well, and I thought we brought great momentum into the middle game last night. I thought we played really well against that team and did everything for the most part we needed to do to win. And there were some unfortunate things happened down the stretch in that game, which cost it for us. But, I hope that our team will just use that as momentum moving forward to know, we've played well against all the top teams in this league and had an opportunity or have beat the top teams in this league. And so we've got to be considered one of those teams as well.
So, Coach, with the first game in the tournament coming up, we got North Texas, who we handled pretty well at home, winning by 13, and really kind of the fourth quarters where they got most of that. We're really up by 20 most of that game. How do we not overlook them? And then getting into Western Kentucky, we'll get them on a neutral floor if we take care of business in North Texas. What are you looking at for the tournament?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's going to be important for us not to overlook North Texas. I think that game was a combination of two things. I think we played really well, and I don't think they played very well. So what I don't want our team is to think, okay, this is a team that we essentially, we're up 20 most of the game, and then we're up 17 at halftime in that game. I don't want them to think it's going to be easy, and I don't think they will. Our team's been really mature regarding different situations this year, and at this point, we got to win to play again. So we shouldn't be taking anybody easy. But North Texas has a tremendous post player inside, and for the most part, we played their guards pretty well. Their little point guard, number 3, gave us some problems, so we've got to be able to play her better. But I like that matchup, and, you're right. And then if we're fortunate to win that, we get another crack at Western. We've played them twice this year. We lost twice. Our home court, we lost by 3. We just talked about the game at their place, so I'd love another opportunity to play them.
So with someone like Western Kentucky in the second round, obviously the loss to them, the loss to Middle Tennessee State really robbed us of that bye. Do the women have a chip on their shoulders coming into the tournament, really thinking they were set for that bye and controlled their own destiny, and now they have that extra game to play and have a lot to prove there?
I hope so. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Today we're off, so I haven't spent time with the team today. But I think that's something that we'll certainly talk about tomorrow, and that we just need to use it as fuel. The truth is the Western game didn't matter. Whether we won or lost that game, it all came down to the middle game last night. Like I said, there were some things down the stretch that caused that game to not come out in our favor, and we need to use that as fuel, and we should use that as fuel. I thought, the locker room after the game was disappointed, but also very determined, and I think that was the right way to look at it. Like, we were disappointed, of course. When you lose a bye, you're disappointed, but let's be determined. And sometimes it's good to play on the first day of the tournament. Does it make it harder to try to win 4 games in 4 days? Sure it does. But you know what? These kids practice 4 days in a row with the same type of game load, on their legs that they do in a game. You just have to have the right mentality.
And speaking of point guard matchups, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to our conversation with Mike Hill 2 weeks ago. I know you're busy with basketball season and everything, but Mike really keyed in on, we asked him, what players are you watching? Keyed in on Jada and the work she's done now, having to really take over that point guard role, and, showed some great spirit in that Middle Tennessee State game. Her and Jade with 19 points apiece to close out the season. What have you seen there, and how do you think this second chance at some leadership opportunity in the tournament is going to work out for her?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I'm glad Mike talked about Jada. I think just with the story of our season this year that she gets overlooked a little bit, and her development and progression over the season has been a big, big part of our success. We may have talked about her a little earlier, I can't remember, but, she taken over as a sophomore. It took her a little bit, and you could kind of see those flashes for her in December and even starting January. But, as we've really gotten to the thick of conference play, she's played at an extremely high level. And a lot of that, I think, is her becoming 100% comfortable in her role and what we need her to do. And she's become our floor leader, and you can see her now. She'll be out there controlling, demanding, getting people in the right spot. She wasn't doing that in the beginning of the year because I just don't think, she had the confidence, but I know that she has it now. And, she's playing at a level in that we don't want to take her out. I mean, I told her before the Middle Tennessee game, I said, just be ready because you're not coming out of this game. And she played 40 minutes and played those 40 minutes as well as anybody on the court.
So another kind of general question for you. Coronavirus has kind of been in the news lately, especially with sports. I was wondering if that affects kind of the approach that the team's taken for the tournament coming up.
Not for me. I'm going to do my job and coach basketball and prepare my team. And when somebody who's a lot smarter than me that knows the science behind it tells me I need to do something different, then I'll do something different. And until that comes my way, I'm going to focus on preparing our team for playing the game on Wednesday.
So one more player question for you, Coach. Christian finished the season added to the all-academic team. I know you mentioned she was coming back from an injury a couple weeks ago. It seems like she's really hitting her stride now and back to performing on the team. How big is it to have her back, and how proud are you to have her on that all-academic team?
Yeah, super proud of Christian for the all-academic team honor. I mean, she is one of the elite kids I've been around in terms of her mentality to be the best she can, both in the classroom and on the court. And it's rare to be able to find that combination. I mean, really, she got 1B in college so far, and she cried when she got it. And, and I say that because that tells you just how important it is to her. I'm just really happy that she was recognized for all the hard work that she puts in both areas. In terms of her on the court, getting her back to full form has been really crucial to us, and hopefully will propel us far in the conference tournament. I mean, her going down, it helped Octavia kind of step up and play a little bit better. And then when we get Christian back now, she's playing at a high level again. And I think it was almost a blessing in disguise in that it helped our team in a lot of ways. But we need Christian to perform at a really high level, both offensively and defensively, to be successful. So I'm looking forward to a great tournament for her.
Any keys to that first North Texas game you think the fans should keep an eye out for as we watch? Again, that's March 11th at 3 Eastern for the fans who want to tune into that.
I think for that game, it's going to be important for us to control the paint. As I told you, they have a great post player, and they also have some guards that do a good job getting downhill and getting into the paint. And last game, I know we did a very good job of forcing them into jump shots. That's going to be key for us, keeping them off the boards, taking away their second chance points. I think if we can do that, we're going to put ourselves in a position to win. But just like we talked about earlier, beyond all that, we've got to go out there and compete and outwork them, not hustle them, be the tougher team. And I feel like if we can focus on that, starting against North Texas, we can put ourselves in a position to make a great run.
All right. Well, we appreciate you stopping by. It's always great to catch up with you and hear your thoughts on the season for the women's basketball team. And we're hoping we watch this and then maybe get to see some more women's basketball beyond the Conference USA tournament. But there's a lot left to be written for that. So we'll be happy to keep up with you along the way on the journey as you close out the season.
Sounds great. Thanks, you guys. Really appreciate your support.
Thanks. Good luck this week.
Yeah, you're going to win the tournament. We feel good about it. At least I do.
All right. You guys said it first.
I put it in the universe, right? That's half the battle.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Have a good one.
Hey, you're welcome. Have a good day.
We've got a really special guest for us today. Another assistant from your Charlotte men's basketball team, Kotie Kimble. Kotie, welcome to the show. First time talking to you. Appreciate you giving us the time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Last time we talked to Vic, and that was right when we got into the top pod for Conference USA, and we went 500 in the bonus games, which was just what we needed to get a bye into the Conference USA tournament coming up here later this week. As a coach, how'd you think we did? I know the North Texas game was a critical one.
Yeah, I mean, first, I think credit to our guys. I mean, I think it's, unreal, for this team. I think it's incredible accomplishment just to have the opportunity to, compete against the top four, in our league. I think that's a accomplishment and something that our guys have earned and should be proud of. And pod play was, I do think, a success for us. I mean, in year two, having the opportunity to, again, compete against the best teams in our league is something that, that we embraced. And we had, two really good wins. The North Texas win, the one that you mentioned, we play well. We guard it, at a high level. North Texas being, coming in our gym as the outright Conference USA champions was a challenge for us, and one that our guys, accepted and embraced, and we're very pleased with that performance. And then, winning at Western Kentucky in a place that it's a really hard place to win. I mean, the environment there was incredible and challenging, and for our guys to make play after play, especially down the stretch, and come up with the victory, and again, a challenging environment, was great for us. So 2-2, a pod play, and something that our guys should be proud of. And what it does is it builds momentum. It gives us confidence, I think, going into next week that we can compete and play against the best. FIU, another team in pod play, we beat in the regular season. And La Tech, is a team that's, probably as talented as anyone in the league, as balanced as anyone in the league. We played them tough, at their place the first time. And they got the best of us last night. Credit to them. Very prepared and played very hard, and they've had a great year. But next week, our guys, I think, will feel confident, and we've shown that we can compete with anybody in this league.
So we've seen us on the road, not so hot, and Halton Arena, incredible. How do we do on a neutral court? What are we going to win the tournament?
That's a great question. And 13 wins in Halton is special. And on the road, we've had a couple good wins, but we have struggled. We have struggled some. But that's a good question. And this will be, to answer your question, this will be a new experience for all of our guys. I mean, look in our locker room, and you can go through each guy. There's only 3 guys on our roster, that has competed in a conference tournament. And that will be Drew Edwards, Bomba, our 2 grad transfers, and Jordan Shepard, our transfer, from Oklahoma. So, this is an experience we're going to have to go through together. Our goal is to go down there and play 3 games and hopefully win a conference tournament. But, I mean, to say, are we going to be better on a neutral site? Our hope is yes. We'll prepare this week to win this thing, but that's an experience that we're going to, go and share together for the first time. And hopefully we come up at the end of the week cutting down the nets.
So, Coach, diving into that for a second, when you have a season where the road has been unkind to you, what was the locker room like, and how important was it when Jordan Shepard was able to get that last-second layup to close out that Western Kentucky game and really give you the confidence in the first pod game that you had there to be able to knock off a big win on the road against a tough team?
Yeah, again, the Western Kentucky win was incredible. I mean, it was good for our guys to beat at the time. I think they were tied for first. Before that game started. So for us to, win a game like that gives us tremendous confidence. And I'll say, our struggles on the road, yes, they've been there, but our leadership has been incredible. You got guys like Drew Edwards in our locker room, who's been a terrific leader for us all season. Bamba, our other senior has led us as well, and Jordan Shepard, transfer from Oklahoma. So the locker room has been strong, and we've used those opportunities as growth, learning opportunities for us all. And hopefully, those experiences will help us next week in Frisco.
And a common theme across the 2 losses we just reeled off against FIU and Louisiana Tech, just 2 3-pointers made in each of those games. Is there a strategy to try and help the guys get through some of that growth and gain that confidence? Because obviously shooters be streaky regularly, but going out of one game shooting really well and then into the next just making 2 3-pointers has got to be tough to game plan week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, the shots, for us, unfortunately, a lot of Tech, there's a lid on the basket, especially in the first half, and they didn't fall, and we didn't shoot it well against FIU as well. But, the one thing we talk about is controlling the things that we can control. And our identity is on the defensive side of the ball. So the ball is not going to go in the hole all the time. So for us to be consistent on that side of the ball is something that we have to bring and that we have to travel with next week in Frisco. And we've shot the ball, pretty well over the course of conference play. I think on the year, maybe 35% from 3. But, again, yes, people do scout for you. People do, game plan for you. I mean, people know Malik Martin is a 38% shooter from 3. People know Drew Edwards is a guy that makes and takes open shots. So, it gets a little bit tougher down the stretch. I think to get some of those shots, teams know each other very well. There's no secrets this time of year. We all scout each other very well. There's a lot of good coaches in this league. So, again, our identity has to be on the defensive side of the ball if we're going to be successful and give ourselves a chance to win 3 games next week in Frisco. We're going to have to guard.
So let's talk about the likely first game. We talked a little about FIU. They came to our house twice. We beat them the first time. We lost to them the second time. Odds are they're probably going to be the team we play after that bye. How are you preparing for that and film-wise? Obviously, we showed them what we're good at and what we're not good at, and vice versa. Should be an interesting matchup.
Well, it's awesome for our guys. Again, an incredible accomplishment for our team to earn a first-round bye. And how do we prepare? Do we play FIU? I would say, first of all, I think anybody in this league can beat anybody. Rice, in the time that Rice and FIU played this year, if I, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Rice beat FIU. So in preparation, for these teams this week, we will prepare for both. FIU is the higher seed and probably favored to win. And so we'll spend, today, tomorrow, and Tuesday, Wednesday as well, is preparing for those guys. We'll watch film as coaches, and we'll start to implement some of those things in practice tomorrow. But we'll also spend time preparing for Rice. I mean, Rice is also a tough opponent who that we lost to in the first game on the road. And again, them beating FIU in their time, and they're a tough matchup. They play 5 guards and, a matchup zone. So we'll spend a little bit of time watching those guys and as well. Each coach is assigned a team, as a scout. And so each coach will be responsible for watching each of those teams, and we'll prepare for them as well. And we'll start doing that again tomorrow, Monday in practice, Tuesday. We'll leave and we'll get down there Wednesday, and we'll have a day to get a feel for the gym and prepare as well. So these next three days obviously will be focus on us, but also a focus on, both teams, because it's an interesting spot. We really don't know which team will play. We'll get to live scout both teams on Wednesday, and we'll prepare for both.
Do you think with the setup that they have there down in Frisco, 2 games going on at once, do you think that impacts the teams at all, having maybe inadvertent whistles applying that you adjust to? How do you game plan for something like that?
As I said earlier, this is a first experience for, every player in that locker room, but it's also a first experience for us. I really have no idea of what to expect and how that will impact us, just because we've never been. So, March is a special time of year. I mean, I hope, for us and our guys that has no impact on what will be going on, during our game. We'll be focused on, being the best we can be and trying to advance.
And a little hysteria going on too right now with this whole coronavirus thing. Is that affecting your travel plans or the way you're preparing for the game at all?
It hasn't. It hasn't had any effect on us. We obviously just got back, from Louisiana, and no effect whatsoever. Flights were scheduled on time. I saw a lot of people wearing masks and gloves and trash bags, but no effect on our travel, and I would anticipate nothing so far. Haven't heard anything from the league as far as our tournament being affected.
That's good. I'm curious, kind of following up on that, if they were to, with our conference tournament, or even, I'm still hoping we win the conference tournament, we go to the NCAA tournament. If they were to ban spectators, how would that change kind of the experience for you guys?
And that's a good question. I have seen that, the NCAA coming out, obviously, and making a statement is no spectators thus far as been banned. Things are going on as planned. Of course, I mean, do I think that would change the student-athlete experience? Sure. I mean, we all want fans in the building cheering. I mean, we're inspired by others being there, but sure, I'm sure it could have an effect on the student-athlete experience. And but if precautions are needed to be taken, that will be fine as well.
And one more from my side for you, Coach. Amadou Bamba just got named to the all-academic team. Obviously, you mentioned he's a grad transfer here working on some master's studies. How great is it to see a student transfer in and then, be such an impactor on not only the athletic court, but then the academic side of things as well for the team?
I think that's a credit, to Bamba. I mean, he's to be able to do both, do both well. I mean, he's obviously had an impact on our program on the basketball floor, and that's really important to us. But, our job as coaches is not only to win games, but, to develop student athletes beyond basketball, and to prepare student athletes to go on and live a life of impact, beyond here. And, Bamba's been that. I mean, he's excelled on the court. He's excelled, in the classroom. I mean, having a 4-0 and doing what he's doing is remarkable. So, our goal is to graduate kids, and the academic piece is obviously really important for us. So I think it speaks volumes, about him and kind of what we're doing here.
Can we expect to potentially see him as a graduate assistant coach or something like that next year? Keep him with the Niners in some capacity?
He will be here. He still has to finish his degree. So he won't be eligible to play basketball, but he will be here finishing. So if I was a kid, we would love to keep around and obviously be a part of our program. And I know he's already interned with Northwest Mutual and doing some other things. So yes, we'd love to have him around. If that works out for us, and for him, it would be a great addition.
Awesome. So, Coach, last thing, and then we'll get you out of here. Prediction: we winning the tournament?
Our plan is to go in there, as I said earlier, and the good thing about our team is if we have proven that we've played against the best, and we've beaten the best team in our league on our floor. We won at Western Kentucky. We've competed with the other teams in our pod. So I like our chances to go down there and potentially, play 3 games. I mean, that's the goal. And yes, we can do it with this group. There's no question this group has the potential, to do that. But we'll take it one game at a time. Our goal is just to win on Thursday. We win on Thursday. We'll figure out the rest.
Well, no matter what happens, this has been a great season for us. It's been nice to go to Halton Arena and win the majority of the time and have a good product that we can enjoy. And we can't wait for next year on top of this. But I'm still predicting we're winning the tournament, and we're going to the NCAA for the first time in 15 plus years. So I still believe in you guys. Put it in the universe.
Hey, I love it. And I appreciate you guys and what you've done to add exposure to our program. And it has been a special year. And you guys have a lot to do with that, as fans, as season ticket holders. And we're going to go down there and do our best to win 3 games. And it's been a fun year. And it'll be a great way to finish it.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for the time, Coach. We really appreciate it. And good luck this week.
Appreciate you guys. And again, thanks for having me on.